So, hello from Ruth in my home yoga studio, doing a hatha practice. Um, let's go ahead and just start in a relaxed position of dropping back, hands supporting, and just start to wake up those feet, wake up those ankles, and keep an eye on your lower legs. You can observe the movement through your toes and the rotation through the ankles. Maybe you want to slow it down so you can really feel the full range of movement there. If you've worked in one direction, go ahead and change those directions. And notice too the muscles of the lower leg as you rotate through those ankles and wake up those feet. And then relax the feet, bring the feet, the ankles to stillness. And then allowing the toes to drop over and taking that movement from the hip joints and then big toes roll in towards each other. So rolling out and gently rolling in. And a few more times. And then drawing the soles of the feet to the floor wider than hips. Take a nice relaxing inhale. Allow the knees to fall to the side, maybe gaze over the shoulder, and then come to center. So take these movements, perhaps a little smaller movement, slower movement. Notice how it feels as things start to wake up. So moving through the hips, we're introducing a gentle twist here. Relax the shoulders, let those elbows be soft. And finish up that final set. And then moving to an upright position, maybe a crossed legs, kneeling, legs can be extended, whatever feels comfortable. You might want to put a lift underneath your sit bones. We're going to take a hand mudra. So the hand mudra here is, I'm not going to mirror, you're taking your left hand, thumb is lifted. Right fingers wrap around that left thumb. And now we have the hands stacked. That lower left hand, open the fingers, and then let those fingers be lifted up so that the first three fingers join with that right thumb. And if you gaze to your hand, you should be able to see those right hand four fingernails. And you could imagine the shape of a conch shell. Draw that hand mudra, Shanka mudra, towards your heart space. Relax the shoulders, let the elbows drop down. Chin slightly tucked, jaw is relaxed. So imagine a shell drawn up to your ear and that sound of the ocean that you hear. We're going to start our ujjayi sound, that soft sound at the back of the throat, by gently constricting the glottis. Soften through the face. Imagine that sound of the inside of that conch shell. Eyes closed or steady drishti gaze into mid-distance. Does it feel okay, comfortable to let the breath be slower? As you exhale, count it out and count out that in-breath. Bring that breath to equal length and feel there's a fullness to the breath. Stay with the breath as you release the hand mudra. Give those fingers a bit of movement. Roll through those wrists. I'm going to turn sideways for a better view. Knees are bent, soles of the feet are to the floor, and the hands are resting to those shins. As you inhale, start to tuck the tailbone round through the back. Let the lungs fill the back body and tuck the chin. And then as you exhale, start to roll back from the base of the spine, lifting the heart gently. So it's almost like a very small cat-cow movement. So tucking tailbone on in-breath, breathing through the back ribs, through the back shoulder blades. And then on that exhale, start to lift and lengthen. Chin comes untucked, chest is nice and broad, facing towards the thighs, tucking under. Feel the hollowing out of the front body, lifting and lengthening the base of the skull. Keep lifting the weight of the head up as that exhale draws you upright. And one more time as we rock back, fill those lungs, open the back body. And exhale, lengthening and lifting all the way up through the crown of the head. So you could stay with this position with the legs. As the hands come down to the sides, you could come back to a cross-leg position. If you were there before, change over the crossing of the legs. Fingertips by the side, lifting and lengthening up that torso. Taking an exhale here. We're going to move into lateral bends, starting with the head. So as you inhale, I'll do opposite. So that right ear, no, sorry, let me start again. I'm struggling with my opposites. So inhale, lengthen. Stay here for your exhale. Right ear lowers on inhale towards right shoulder, and then pull those left ribs out to the left side as the left arm reaches as though it's pulling the ribs to the side. Root down through that left sit bone. Let the arm comfortably lift. And then as you exhale, you unwind from the base of the skull all the way up through the vertebra of the neck, lift through the base of the skull. Inhale, start to let the head drift over to left shoulder. Right arm reaches out as we reach the right ribs out. Feel the rooting through right sit bone. Exhale from base of the spine all the way up, unwinding through the neck to the base of the skull. Inhale, start from the head. Opposite arm reaching out to pull those ribs open. Feel that rooting down of sit bone, arm comfortably rising. And the exhale from the base of the spine, lifting back up to that neutral position. Head to the side as we open up the side ribs, all the way down to sit bone. And the exhale, unwinding from the base of the spine, all the way up through the neck to the base of the skull. Once more each side. Inhale with the head tip to the side. Reach the opposite arm out. Open through the ribs. Maybe the arm moves higher. And that exhale from the base of the spine all the way up through the head. Final time. Inhale from the head down. Move into that side bend. Decide what you want to do. Reaching through the arm. And then unwinding, arm will start to lower back down again. If not already, the feet come lifted up. Take the heels a little wider than the toe line to let those knees rest in towards each other. Draw yourself upright, hands lifting through the shin bones, and then hands down to sit bones. Lengthen through spine on inhale. And then as you exhale, twist to your right side. Stay in the twist, and as you inhale from the base of the skull, breathe down the spine to your sit bones. Stay tall as you exhale, twist to the opposite side. Back hand behind for support. Inhale from the base of the spine, all the way down to sit bones. Exhale, twisting to the opposite side. Inhale from the base of the skull, all the way down the back. Exhale, twisting. Inhale, draw that height from the crown of the head through the base of the skull and the spine. Once more to each side, staying tall and lifted as the exhale turns us round. Inhale, down the spine. Exhale, final side. Inhale from that, lift through the head all the way down to sit bones, and then turning to face forward. Coming to all fours, tabletop position. Tucking the chin. Start initially, once you've got those knees hip distance, vertical arms, by letting the weight of the head drop down. Relax the jaw. Feel the length of the back of the neck. Smooth inhale. Push through the hands and lift through that mid-back space. Lift through the space between shoulder blades. So we're not rounding the back, but we're firming up the connection of back ribs to shoulder blades. Shoulders glide down, and then lengthen the base of the skull away from backs of shoulders, and your gaze now drifts right between those hands. Exhale, tuck toes. Inhale from crown of head all the way down to tailbone. Engage your abdominals, pelvic floor as you float the knees just barely off of the floor with exhale. And then lightly land them with inhale. So if you imagine you're underneath a table, as you exhale, knees lift, and the whole of the back of the head, the back body is touching that underside of table. And then as the knees lower, that mid-back, low back, back of the pelvis isn't touching the underside of that table anymore. So base of the skull, back of the shoulder blades, and now mid-back and the back of the pelvis is all pushing as though you're trying to lift that table off of the ground. And then slowly release those knees down through inhale. Stay with this a few more times. Exhale, abdominals engaging. Or stay hovered as the next inhale, that left leg reaches out to that plank pose position, and then the knee bends, still floating. Right leg reaches out on inhale, or you're working with lifting and lowering, and then that knee bends. Inhale, knees lower. Tops of feet to the floor, push those hips back to heels, and then let the forehead rest. Take support if it needs it, so you can rest the neck. And wiggling through those fingers, rolling through those wrists. And then coming to all fours, we're going to lunge that right foot forward. Climb up that thigh, pelvic floor, low belly engages, decide distance, front heel, back knee. Release the arms down. Inhale from the crown of the head all the way down the spine as the arms rise. Lift through the base of the skull. Exhale, arms sweeping forward and down. And twice more. Ujjayi breath through that inhale, drawing energy down the spine into your grounding. Exhale, soften through the shoulders, the jaw, the neck. One more time. Inhale, draw that energy all the way down into the earth. And exhale, energy from the earth up to the crown of the head. One more, reach skyward with inhale. Tip forward with exhale, hands coming down, lift off of the back knee. Always an option to keep the knee lowered. Climbing up that front thigh in high lunge position. Pelvic floor, low belly engages, glutes fire up on back leg side, and arms release down to the sides. Steady Ujjayi inhale. And Ujjayi exhale. 3 breaths, arms sweep skyward on inhale. Forward and down through exhale. Ujjayi inhale from crown of the head down to the ground. Exhale from the ground all the way up through crown of the head. Last time, the arms rising with inhale. And then reach forward, hands coming down with exhale. Front foot steps back and we're in plank pose. Fill the space between shoulder blades. Shoulders glide down, base of the skull lengthens, heels away. Exhale, just knees down. Again, pushing through the hands. Fill that gap between shoulder blades. Lengthen base of skull away from shoulders. Exhale, elbows bend, nothing changes through that shoulder blade space as then we lift the chin and then the hips find the floor. Pelvic floor, low belly engaged. Tuck the chin and rest the forehead down. Drag the energy of the hands back. Lift the head by lifting the base of the skull, and then feel that the chest pulls through, still lifting through the base of the skull. No weight through hands. Keep that chin tucked as you lower, forehead rests to floor. 2 more times, lift with the base of the skull, and then feel the chest pulls through as the energy of the hands drag back towards the heels. No weight through those hands. Keep that chin tucked as the forehead re-lands to the floor, slowly through that Ujjayi exhale. Ujjayi inhale, base of the skull, draw the energy all the way down the spine, chest draws forward. And then as you lower down, engage abdominals, tuck the toes, lift into your downward dog or dolphin with forearms down, or you may prefer an extended child pose. Chin slightly tucked again. The base of the skull is gently easing away from back of the shoulders. Hear that Ujjayi breath. Weight of the hips are back. Maybe those knees are soft. Maybe you're pedaling through the feet. Final inhale here. And if you're not already, then lower those knees to the floor. Come to tabletop position. Left foot steps forward. We're going to take that sequence to the other side. Climb up that front thigh. Engage pelvic floor, low belly, glutes fired up on that back leg side. Arms release with exhale. Inhale, arms sweeping forward and skyward. Just those arms forward and down through exhale. Hear that steady drishti gaze. Hear that Ujjayi breath. Inhale from crown of the head down to the ground. Exhale from the ground all the way up to crown of head. And one more time as we inhale. Connect into that earth. Feel the legs fired up and working. Final upward sweep of arms. And then torso tips forward, hands land down. We lift the back knee into that high lunge if that's the option you're going for. Climb up that front thigh. More pelvic floor, low belly engagement, glutes fired up, back heel driving away, and arms are down. 3 breaths here as we inhale. Soften the front ribs. Relax the jaw. Draw the energy on inhale from the crown of the head all the way down. Feel the legs working. Built for strength. One more time. Inhale, rising up. Reaching forward, hands coming down. Inhale to your plank pose. Knees, chest, chin. Hips, tops of feet to floor. Cobra, base of skull. Draw the energy down the spine. Pelvic floor, low belly, glutes engaged. Exhale, tuck the chin. Your extended child pose or downward facing dog or dolphin. Smooth inhale. And smooth exhale. Chin slightly tucked. Feel the base of the skull lengthen away from back of the shoulders. And maybe the back of the head slightly lifts away with that chin tucked to align better between those arms. Front ribs soft, space for breath all around the rib cage. And then gazing forward, start to walk the feet towards the hands, soft knees. Again, tuck the chin, let the weight of the head sink down, relax through those knees, bend the knees. So chin tuck, base of the skull, lots of space from the back of the neck. Tuck that tailbone, slowly start to wind up, engaging low belly, abdominal muscles working. So unwind from the base of the spine all the way up through. End of the movement, shoulders realign, chin lifts to level. So taking a few easeful maypole swing movements there, soft knees, wide stance, loose through the shoulders, taking that gentle twist. And then coming forward on the mat, feet parallel and hip distance, arms to the side. Take an inhale here. Both heels lifting with steady drishti gaze through exhale. Heels lower, arms rise forward and up through inhale. Heels lift, arms lower through exhale. Twice more. Inhale, heels lower, arms rise. Exhale into heels lifted. Again, as we inhale. Exhale, heels rise. Arms stay to the side as inhale, heels lower. And exhale here. We're going to take a open hip sequence. Warrior one into Trikonasana into flank fold. Okay. I'll briefly show you the sequence so that as you move into it, you're not having to constantly look to camera to figure out where you're going. We're going to be lifting up a knee for balance and then pivoting back into high lunge. As we ground down, we then face to the side for a few breaths in Warrior Two, lifting into a Sun Warrior, back to Warrior Two, front leg straightens, stride length adjusting for your Trikonasana, front hip pulls in as we reach forward, windmilling through the arms, a few breaths there. Top arm drops down, we soften the front knee, we peel the back heel off, we step closer in, deeper angle to the foot, and then we work into a flank fold over the front leg before softening leg, lifting off the back heel, arms rising up, lifting into that brief balance, releasing down, taking it to the other side. Okay, so start with those hands to the hips, steady inhale, and steady exhale. Draw energy from crown of the head on that inhale all the way into your supported feet. Weight into that right foot as that left knee rises up. Soften standing leg as you tip the torso forward. Steady drishti gaze, back foot reaches and finds the floor. Torso comes upright, back heel spins into midline, roots down, front heel in line with back. And then level off that pelvis, feel the body sitting on that diagonal line. Think about the lower leg first in your grounding. Press through the feet, check that front knee over ankle. And then rib cage, chest rotating to face that long edge of mat. Fire up back leg. Arms rise with inhale. Shoulder blades glide down. Base of skull lifting with inhale. Gaze turning to front fingertips. The whole of that left side of the back, reaching for that wall behind. Relax the jaw. Ujjayi breath, open up that space for breath. Inhale. And take your final exhale. With the next inhale, front palm skyward, lift into your Sun Warrior. It's a side bend here. Ribcage, chest still facing that long edge of your mat. Still lengthening through the neck, the base of the skull energy lifting up, supporting weight of head. Eye line lifting. Think about lifting the chest, that right side of the chest. Open up right side of the ribcage. Front knee stays over ankle. Final inhale here. Coming back to your Warrior Two with exhale. Front leg straightens with inhale. Adjust your stride length. Maybe it's a little smaller stride length for Trikonasana. Exhale, front hip tips in as we reach forward. Find that maximum reach. And then windmill those arms around. Start with gaze down. Maybe front knee is softened. Plug that front hip into the body. Soften the front ribs into the body. Shoulder blades glide down and the energy of that head, base of the skull, gently drawing away from back of shoulders. If it feels okay, transfer that gaze to the upward arm. Arm bones gently softened into shoulder sockets. Length through the neck, that distance between shoulders and base of skull. Strong energy through that back foot, outer edge of the foot, up the outer edge of the leg to that hip. Final exhale here. And stay for the inhale. Soften front knee, gaze starts to turn down, top arm moves down, hands frame the front foot, spin off the back heel, step the foot closer in and then land the heel, deeper angle of the foot. Pushing through the front foot is drawing the weight of the hips back. Lengthen along the spine, crown of the head drawing away from back of shoulders, shoulder blades gently glide down. And then as you exhale, start to fold over front leg. Tuck the chin, draw the energy of the head down that leg. Exhale is drawing closer in. Inhale, bring the length through the spine from crown of the head all the way back to those sit bones. And exhale, draw the energy from that tailbone all the way up to crown of the head as you exhale. Soften the jaw, the neck. Inhale from crown of head all the way down to sit bones. And the exhale from the tailbone all the way back to the crown of the head. Engage your abdominals, tuck the chin, lift the head with the back of the skull towards half fold. Hands arrive at hips with exhale. Again, draw energy of that head up, drawing the whole of that spine upright. Lifting off of the back heel, draw that foot forward and up. Final balance on this side, and then releasing down. Take a few easeful movements there. And then realign those feet under the hips, hands to the hips. And just notice how you feel with the vision shut down, steady drishti gaze, or indeed eyes closed. Preparing for the other side, root down through that left side for support. Take an in-breath before movement. And then peeling that right foot away into that brief balance. Standing leg softens, torso tips forward as that right leg reaches out behind, toes find the floor, and we're in that high lunge as torso lifts upright. Spin and ground the back heel and feel how that direction changes through the torso. Don't focus on that for the moment, just focus on your feet, aligning front heel with back heel or even back instep, leveling out the pelvis, pelvic floor, low belly engages, fire up through those feet, vertical front shin. And then that finishing rotation through rib cage, chest to face, long side of mat. As you inhale from your grounding, let those arms rise up, release the shoulders down, soften head of arm bones into shoulder sockets, soften shoulders down the back. Breathe that lift through crown of the head as you inhale all the way down. Exhale, gaze up to front fingertips into that mid-distance beyond. Steady inhale. Relax the cheeks, relax the jaw. Hear your Ujjayi breath. Check that you're spreading the weight across that front foot and drive it towards outer edge of back foot. Final inhale here. And final exhale. Sun warrior, front palm skyward as we lift into that lateral bend. Still front knee over ankle. Lengthening the base of the skull away from backs of shoulders. Feel the opening through that left side of the ribs. Space in left shoulder joints, shoulders softened away from ear. Inhale. Exhale from the grounding all the way up to crown of head. And inhale from crown of head all the way down to base of the spine. Final exhale. Inhale back to Trikonasana. And exhale, front leg straightens. Take an inhale. Tuck that front hip in as you reach forward with that exhale. Maybe front knee softens. And then windmill those arms. Start with gaze down. Soften that shoulder. Push through the feet. Drive the weight of the hips back. Soften front ribs into the body. Fire up the glutes on that back leg side. And then maybe the gaze transfers with that slightly tucked chin. Feel that the base of the skull, that whole energy of the head from the base of the skull is reaching in direction of that front of the mat. And the energy of the hips, the pelvis, the tailbone is reaching to the back. Check what's going on with the back of the body. So the whole of that right side of the back rotating to Press up against that invisible wall behind you. Steady Ujjayi breath. Feel the length and extension along the spine. Powerful legs that support that. Work those thighs more. Fire up that support. And then the inhale, we rise up, gazing forward. No, we don't. Let's reach forward into our Trikonasana. And then that top arm drops down, soften the front knee. Spin off the back heel. Draw the weight forward, lift the back foot, and then angle that foot more deeply as the heel lands. Flank forward fold, folding. Exhaling over that front thigh, elbows wide. Tucking the chin. On that inhale, feel the weight of the head drawing down to the foot and draw the energy all the way down the spine to those sit bones. And exhale from the tailbone all the way up to crown of the head. Shoulders released away from the head. Base of the skull gently easing away from backs of shoulders. Pushing through both feet. One more breath there. Soften front knee as you inhale, lift from the base of the skull, the whole of the torso, head coming parallel to floor, hands to hips with your exhale. Lifting the rest of the way again, lengthen that energy up through the head and let it lift the spine. Spin off the back heel, and then that brief balance coming forward, thigh lifting, and then releasing down. Wider stance, soft knees again, a few easeful movements there. Let the arms be heavy, let the shoulders feel loose, relax the jaw. Hear that Ujjayi breath. Open up the space for breath all around the rib cage, shoulder blades, the chest. Slow that movement down, hands to heart space. Take an inhale here. And take an exhale. Time to just pause and check in. Hear that Ujjayi breath. Bring in that sense of calm, that sense of focus. Stay with steady breath. Start to light up the abdominals, the thighs, the glutes as the knees bend. We hinge from the hips. We start to fold into that chair pose, but we're going to keep going. So keep sinking down. So you start to feel belly in the ribs. Get the hands out of the way as they move towards the floor. And then step yourself back to grounded shins and knees. Walk the hands forward and we're coming up to high knees. Hands coming to the sacrum, low back, slide the shoulder blades down. Pelvic floor, low belly engages. And then again, feel the base of the skull lifts the weight of the head, and then the chest starts to lift on that inhale. Back to neutral on exhale. Again, feel that the head is lifting up, base of the skull lifting away from backs of the shoulders, chest rising, engage the glutes, low belly, pelvic floor. And then lift yourself up, weight of that head rising up. And then sinking down on, I'm going to turn sideways so you can see, sit bones onto the heels, hands releasing back, fingertips pointed out to the side, or you could have them pointing in the direction of the knees of the hips, or you could have them pointing away, your choice. I'm going to work with fingers pointing out to the sides. Tuck the tailbone under, so lift the back of the thighs a little away from the calves to tuck that tailbone under and land the sit bones back down. You should feel an increased stretch through the thighs, unless your thighs are very loose. And then on the inhale, start to tuck the tailbone down, lift the weight of sit bones away, pushing through the hands, push actively through shin bones, opening the front body, more glute engagement, brings bigger stretch to hip flexors. Slowly ease back down again. Sit bones lightly landing to back of the heels, and twice more, tucking under, starting to lift hips, pushing through hands, more glute engagement as you pin those shins down, and then slowly releasing down again. And take that a final time. Inhale. And exhale. Coming forward, we're going to do some cobra into locust variations. So coming on to your front. Again, I think the sideways on view for you is going to be the best to see what we're working with. So sliding hands under shoulders. Again, we let that forehead rest to the floor. Pelvic floor inward and upward, low belly inward and upward, thigh muscles hugging in, buttocks working, tops of feet pressing to the floor. Again, as you inhale from the base of the skull, lengthen away from the shoulders, drag the energy of the hands back, start to let the chest reach forward. So still feel that you're soft at the throat. The whole of the weight of the head is lifting from the base of the skull. The chest is pulling forward. Energy of the hands are dragging back. Pelvic floor, low belly, thighs, glutes work even more. Feel it's the pubic bone that's supporting the lift. And reach those sit bones to the back of the thighs. Steady in. Tucking the chin a little more as you lower back down. Take the elbows wide, stack the hands, rest the forehead, and sway those hips gently from side to side. Relax the flesh of the thighs. And then still that movement. Take the hands as you had them for the cobra under the shoulders, and then see if you can slide them a little further down in the direction of the sides of the rib cage. Forehead resting down. Just as before, everything fires up. Thighs, tops of feet, pelvic floor, low belly, buttock muscles. Keep space for breath across rib cage. As you next exhale from the inner groin down the inner legs to the inner ankles, lift the whole of the leg and push through that pubic bone. Engage the glutes. Low belly, pelvic floor lifting. Forehead still resting. Energy of the hands is pulling back. Maybe you take the hands a little further down. Reach from the inside of those legs. So feel that the little toenails are trying to point more down to the floor. And then base of the skull lifting up. This is an option you don't need to take. Upper body also lifting up as we still have those legs lifted. Pubic bone is where that weight is resting. Hands maybe pull back a little more. Feel you're dragging the heels of the hands towards those hips as that chest draws through and the base of the skull is lifting. Open the distance between head and heels. So it's a lengthening as opposed to focusing on lifting. Inhale. And then very slowly let the legs, let the head start to lower down, support under the forehead as before, and let everything go. Gentle sway through the hips if that feels nice. Feel the soft flesh of the thighs. My head is lifted up just so the sound isn't so muffled. Your head is resting down. Ujjayi sound, check that breath. Give it some attention. And draw that breath into the back of the body. Still that movement. Hands under the shoulders to support, pushing those hips back for extended child pose. Find support from the head if the floor is too far away so that you can let that neck relax and again open that space to the base of the skull. Soften around the face. Again, I'm lifted, but you're resting head down to whatever support provides more of that same level of shoulders and hips. So if hips are a lot higher than shoulders and it doesn't feel okay because of knees, hips, whatever, to sink further back, lift up the height of that head so you have more of that horizontal line of the back. And again, explore the breath in the back of the body here. Let the inhale rise up from that tailbone root all the way up through the crown of the head. And let that exhale slide down from the crown of the head all the way down to that tailbone. 2 more breaths there. fill with a sense of space, a sense of ease, a sense of release. And then slowly lifting yourself up. Disturb yourself as little as possible to come onto your back. From there, again, provide support under the head if it's helpful. So you have that space at the back of the neck. And then hug those knees in. Take a gentle rock from side to side if that feels nice. And then the arms about 45 degrees away as the feet come wide to the floor, the knees are bent. Relax through the rib cage as you inhale. Feel the connection of the back to the floor. And then bring the knees to one side through your exhale. You could, with chin slightly tucked, turn the gaze away. And then everything comes back to that midline on inhale. And then moving to the other side through exhale. Coming to midline with inhale. So 4 more breaths. Let the breath lead the movement. Feel how the inhale brings everything to center. And the exhale draws things over to the side. So when you finish that final time and you've returned to the center line, walk those feet closer in and once more hugging. And then start to lift the feet as you hug behind the thighs. Take the knees wide, so wider than the sides of the body as though the knees are aiming towards armpits. And then flex through the ankles so the soles of the feet point up to the ceiling. Imagine you're resting something on the soles of the feet. You don't want them dropping to the floor. So your variation of happy baby from here. You could just hold behind the thighs with those knees wide, aiming for vertical shin bones. So keep an eye on what's going on there. You could let the hands creep up the shin bones to ankles. You could take the elbow line inside of the knees with the fingertips grabbing to the outside of the feet. But whatever you take, check you haven't lifted your head and the back of the shoulders away from the floor. You need to keep that relaxed neck, the weight of the head resting down. And then that will dictate the hold position that you take. So aiming for that stretch across the buttocks, the widening through the low back by those knees wide and drawing down and the soles of the feet lifting. That's the purpose for the position, is what you feel. So aiming to experience a stretch through the buttocks, experience a broadening of the low back, relaxing of the shoulders, the weight of the head released. And then release any bind as you draw the knees into each other. Let the soles of the feet lift higher, and then rubbing along the back of the thighs into those attachments behind the knees and at those sit bones. And a final few movements through those ankle joints. A final hug in. And then as the hands release, maybe about 45 degrees, release the feet to the floor. Let one knee open out to the side and then slide the leg towards straight. The other knee opens to the side and then slide that leg out. So we have that spacing apart of the legs. Feet a little wider than your hips. And if this doesn't work for your low back, it feels tight, it feels pinchy at all, then you could bend those knees and create a support underneath them with some cushions, some rolled blankets. Or you could simply bend the knees with the feet wide, allowing the inner knees to rest against each other. It will change the position of pelvis. So decide where it feels comfortable for you to be in stillness. And if legs are extended, relax through those hips so those toes fall outward. As you next inhale, from the hips, allow the wipering of those legs so the toes point in towards midline, heels haven't moved. And then as you exhale, allow the outer rotation of hips and the toes fall outward. As you next inhale, feel the toe line roll in towards the middle, towards each other. And exhale, they roll out. And feel how this movement comes from those hip joints, that internal rotation through in-breath, and those falling outward external rotation through out-breath. Take that again as we inhale and exhale. Next in-breath. If not already, then from the shoulders we rotate palms upward. Let the legs relax and be still. And as you exhale, roll from little finger side of the hands so the palms face down. So the weight of the arms never lifts from the floor. From the shoulder joint, we roll little finger sides so we come to the back of the hands to the floor. And roll through little finger side of the hand through exhale, palms face down. So the arms stay heavy, the shoulders stay relaxed. Inhale, palms upward. And that gentle roll through shoulder joints, palms downward with exhale. Take that again. Inhale, external shoulder rotation. Exhale, palms down. Inhale, palms upward. And if it feels okay, stay with upward palms as you exhale. Soften through the shoulders. Relax the shoulder blades. Let them sink to the floor. Inhale, breathe in the space between left and right hip. And exhale, relax the buttocks. Soften the weight of the hips, the legs, the ankles, and the feet. Inhale, feel the space between left and right side of the chest, right out through the shoulders and down the arms. And exhale, the weight of the arms, the shoulders, the shoulder blades sink down. Chin slightly tucked, feel the distance, the base of the skull away from backs of shoulders. Relax the weight of the back to the floor. Release your breath. Relax the low belly, relax the pelvic floor. With each passing exhale, feel the whole of the body releasing and sinking. Feel that gentle sense of space through the body with your inhale. A sense of lightness. Exhale, whole of the body supported, releasing, surrendering into that support. Relaxing the features of the face. Stay with a sense of space, stay with a sense of ease. Let the breath be comfortably fuller and deeper. Start to reawaken through the fingers and through the toes. Roll through the wrists, roll through the ankles. Invite reawakening. Let the legs, the feet drift closer into the midline. And maybe the arms want to reach overhead and take a full body stretch if that feels nice. With a sigh, let it go. Knees bend, feet to the floor, and then you can hug in if that feels nice. Any releasing movements here. Roll to the side, right side if that's okay. Let the arm lift overhead. And then as you roll to the side with the head supported, let the eyes be open. Come back into a sense of place, a sense of space. Take your time to move into an upright seat. Let the palms meet at heart space. And I recently posted up following the death of Bill Withers, the lines of his songs Lean on Me, just a few that really spoke to me. But the essence of that song is take support when you need it. Borrow strength from elsewhere. And as your strength builds and you become stronger, you become available for others to lean on you. So that exchange of energy, the giving and the receiving. But even within yourself, be aware of where you take too much, where you deplete yourself, and what other areas where there is strength, where there is wisdom. Seek them out, look for them, learn how to rely on them so you gather your strength from untapped resources within you. You need to look in other places, less familiar spaces. Be curious. Be supportive of yourself, just as you support those around you. And that sense of gratitude and thankfulness for this time you've given yourself, for your practice, for nourishing that sense of strength and wisdom. Let's take one breath together. So as you inhale, sweep wide and skyward. As those palms meet, draw that strength, that wisdom back into your heart space. Thank you all for your practice.